Hey, how's it going, guys? Yaniv here. And if you guys don't know me, basically I'm a multiple six-figure Amazon FBA seller. And in the past 2 years, I was able to bring 2 Amazon FBA businesses to multiple six figures per year. Now that's cool for me, but it doesn't really mean much to you. So basically what we do here on the channel, guys, is I help you guys out to get you guys to that next level. And today is no different, right? Today we're going to talk about Instagram influencers and how you can use them to get you to that next level. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so like I said, today we're going to talk about how to find reputable influencers to profit your brand. Now this stuff is awesome for literally anything. Amazon FBA, Shopify, any sort of e-commerce store, any sort of brand or business that you might have can benefit from this. So this is not just for Amazon FBA or for just Shopify. This is for anything. If you are looking to get influencer marketing, basically, like I said, I'm going to show you guys how to find reputable influencers to profit your brand without getting scammed or losing your money, because I know that's a concern. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to avoid that. We all know what influencers are and what influencer marketing is and why it's good. So, I'm really not going to explain what it is or why it's good or all that stuff, because honestly, if you don't know what it is, then you probably shouldn't be using it. So this is kind of for those people who know what it is. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to, do it correctly and what I've found works best, overall. So if you guys don't know what it is, go search it up somewhere and come back to this video and we'll continue from here. All right. So we'll not waste your time with that. So bonus, guys, if you stay till the end, I'm going to show you guys something really, really awesome. Okay. So let's get right into it. Right here basically is what a kind of sponsored post looks like. In this case, it's Kylie Jenner. And, in this case, it's really, really simple. Basically, all she did is, posted an Instagram picture with like thanking Ad Vogue magazine. And believe it or not, guys, this post right now is worth, to get something like this on Kylie Jenner's, page, is worth about $1 million. Now, obviously, Kylie Jenner has a ton of followers, and that's really not what we're going after. But if a company is willing to pay this much money for an influencer, they're making a lot more money back. So that's why this is so powerful. Now, lucky for you guys, we're not going to be looking at people this big, but it's just an example of what kind of a sponsored post is. So now there's actually only 4 questions to ask yourself, okay, to get answers to, right? In this case, what we want to know when we're going out to find influencers, we need to figure out a few things to know that they're gonna, that this is gonna be a profitable venture for us, right? We need to know that we're gonna make money from this before we invest anything. So we need to answer, what type of influencer do we actually advertise with? What type of influencer is it, right? We need to know how to find a profitable influencer, so someone who's actually going to, convert for us. And we need to know that the influencer is real. So it's not just, bots, it's not just fake followers, and that, it's someone with real influence in their space, right? Also, we need to know that our ads will work in this situation, right? Because if you do everything right, and your ads are bad, or, your listing is bad, or your landing page is bad, or your website's bad, it's just not going to work. So we need to know that everything's kind of lined up. And if you can answer all these 4 questions correctly, you will profit. And guys, don't worry, we're going to go all over everything here. This is going to be probably the most in-depth, influencer video I've ever seen. So stick around for it, guys. And like I said, at the end, you're going to get a bonus. And trust me, it's a good one, okay? So 2 types of influencers, right? So when we're going out there, there's really only 2 categories of influencers that we really need to pay attention to. There are the, just the personal, influencer, which is just people. And then there's stuff like this, which is pages, okay? So we kind of want to stay, in my opinion, with my own, experiences, I've noticed that people convert better than pages, just because people have a lot more, influence with, their audience, right? With pages, yeah, it's awesome, but people really are the ones with the influence. So I always like to, go with the people if I can. Obviously, they're also more expensive most of the time, but that's not to say that pages cannot be profitable as well, okay? So this is something to just know. Now, how to know a good influencer when you see one. So now we've covered what kind of influencers there are and which one we should probably go for, but we've kind of figured that one out. We need to know if an influencer is going to be good. So the 3 things we need to look for, okay? The follower count, this is quite obvious, right? This is pretty simple. We need to know the engagement rate, again, fairly normal stuff, and the quality of followers, okay? And we'll go over this. So if all 3 are good, okay, you're going to profit. Now, once you can vet all 3 of these, it's going to be good. So now we're going to break them down individually so that we can have a better understanding. So now we've answered question number 1, which is what type of, influencers are we looking for? Usually we're going to look for people because they have more influence. And question number 2 is, how do we actually know a good influencer when you see one. And those are the 3 things we're going to be checking, okay? Now, I thought I'd throw this in there as a little like disclaimer, because I don't want you guys going out there and just, paying anyone for a shout out, because really it's only going to work if they're in your space. And by that, I mean in your niche. If you're selling something for fitness, and you find a fitness kind of related person, that's going to work, right? If you're selling, cupcakes and you go to a fitness related page, it's probably not going to work out well for you, okay? Let's break it down now. The first thing of those 3 was follower count. So this one's fairly simple. We're not gonna spend too much time here, right? I look for people between 50,000 and 250,000 followers. Now, the reason, that's kind of the sweet spot is because anything above there is people start to realize that, or start to think that they're worth a lot more than they are. They start charging more than they're actually worth. Between 50 and 250,000, that's kind of a sweet spot where they don't get too many brand deals. They don't get too many promotions. So they still, kind of looking for money. They still want money. But, they're worth more than kind of what they're asking for, because they're just getting started. They're getting the ball rolling. So 50 to 250,000 is what I've noticed is the sweet spot with follower count. We're not going to spend too much time here because it doesn't really matter. Okay, because, it's not kind of a black and white. It's a gray zone. You can go higher, you can go lower, and it can still work out well for you. All right. So engagement rate. What is a normal engagement rate? And first of all, what is an engagement rate, right? Basically, it's anything, it's a comment, it's a like, that ratio to how many followers they have. So you want to have someone who has an engagement rate of more than 3%, okay? But why? Like, why do we want someone with higher than 3%? Now, the reason for that is because there is a lot of fake, followers and fake bots and stuff like that, that if they're not actually, if they're not active there, then all you're doing is you're kind of paying for a shout out because they're based on how many followers, right? Let's say, the payments are based on how many followers. So if you're paying more because the follower count is more, but really the engagement is really bad and no one's really engaging with the post, then you're advertising to a bunch of bots who aren't going to buy anything from you. So that's not what we want. And that's exactly why we want to have a greater than 3% engagement rate. So let me show you guys exactly how you can actually, calculate engagement rate. So I found this page, which is just Pugs Lover Only. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the website called Flanks. All right, so I had to open up a separate window because Flanks was actually not letting me use it. There's a trial limit, so I just opened up an incognito tab and you can pretty much get unlimited. So basically what I did here is I just posted the Pugs Lovers Only, okay, and it shows us the engagement rate of 5.91%. Now this is super, super important. This is an amazing conversion rate for someone who has, how many followers do they have? They have 233,000. Once you go over about 100,000, your engagement rate starts to drop off because that's just natural. That's just the way it works. So having a 6% conversion rate on someone, on a follower basis that's that big is really, really actually quite good. So the reason that's awesome, and the reason you want to look for pages like this is because even though they have a 233,000 followers, a lot more people are actually engaging with their posts. So you can probably get this, get a shout out here, get something like that on here for a lot cheaper than than somewhere else with more followers but less engagement. So and this would work better for you. So this is definitely amazing. And sometimes when their engagement is this good, they really don't even know what they're worth. So this is really awesome. This is a great page, and that's a great way to actually find out what the conversion rate is, right? I have someone else open here who has a little bit worse of a conversion rate. So they have 529,000 followers. And when I take, let's say their thing, let's go check it out. And let's see how it looks here. And out of, 529,000, I think it was, they have a 2.8%. So it's a lot worse. They have, double the audience, right? But it's a lot worse, and it will cost you a lot more money for this kind of page rather than the last one, okay? So that's something you want to look out for, and that's exactly why we look for conversion rates of that level. Another thing, when you think about engagement rate, you want to make sure that, the people who are engaging with it are actually real people. Now, Instagram has a horrible problem with, botters and stuff like that. So what you want to do is you want to open up like a picture or something, and you want to look at what the comments look like, right? So if there are a bunch of like things that are like dope with like a thumbs up, or like hot, this was awesome, or like, super generic, dumb comments, like just like don't know how to describe it better, then that it's probably, probably fake. And this looks like people are just tagging and stuff. So this looks fairly real. Okay. But you can load more comments there and keep looking. Let's see this. Okay. So yeah, so this one looks really real because they're, people are tagging their friends and stuff like that in these kind of posts. So that's really awesome. Now, so I have another page open here, and here's another thing you want to make sure of. So not only do you want to make sure that the comments are real and that the people who are commenting are real and not just like kind of fake comments, you want to also make sure that you're watching out for engagement group posts. So on Instagram, there's these things called engagement groups, and they kind of help each other show up on like trending pages and stuff like that. Basically, the trending pages of different hashtags on Instagram. So what you want to be doing is you want to make sure that these engagement groups aren't the ones that are, kind of engaging with the pictures, right? You want real people who are actually ready to buy from you. So if you go in here and you see stuff like this, right? So Chris and his pug, okay? So usually these engagement groups are very, very similar to what the actual, page is about. So if the page is about pugs, then, a lot of the stuff is going to be about pugs. I mean, a lot of the people engaging with it are going to be pug people, right? Pip's pug life, Chris and his pug, Pug Bella, right? So this is quite clearly, this is an engagement group, right? So it's not actually getting that much engagement. It's the fact that the engagement group is really pushing this post up. So you want to be careful about stuff like this. If you see a lot of kind of similar niches inside promoting, kind of trying to engage in the post, watch out for that, because those aren't real people either. And lastly, what you want to do is you want to come into, let's say, the page. So we'll go back to Pug Lovers Only here, the good one that we found with the good engagement. We also want to make sure that the people who are following are actually real as well, right? So they have good engagement, but we also want to make sure that they're real people. So we go in here, and what you want to do is you want to actually look at the profile pictures, right? Instagram is the place where you're gonna, as soon as you make an account, right? And if you're a real person, you're just gonna come in there and change your profile picture, because that's weird to not have one, right? So what you want to do is you want to go through here and you want to see if there's people, like a lot of people like this, right? So this person, okay, so this is fine, right? There's only one, but if about 20% of what we're seeing, out of like 120 people or 30 people are like that, see, here's another one, but that's totally a normal range to have. But like, let's say 20% of them or 30% of them are pictureless. Again, be careful, because they'll be charging you for a much higher shout out premium than what they're actually worth. You need to know that, right? So that's another kind of trick to know if it's real engagement, because if it's not real engagement, guys, you're not going to get any sales. And that kind of ties into the quality of followers. Number 3, the final thing that we're looking for, which is we want to make sure that we're not paying for fake robots that are kind of, posting for them and saying, hey, like nice post, sick post. I'm sure you guys have seen this on Instagram. So we want to make sure those aren't the people. We also want to make sure that the followers are actually real. They have the real pictures. And another thing we can do to make sure of this is go to, let's say, Pugs Lovers Only. So we found their actual Social Blade, okay? So make sure that you switch this from YouTube to Social Blade. If you guys probably use this, probably on YouTube, but make sure it's on Instagram. And you can actually type in the Instagram account. So if you do that, right, you can see the followers, you can see the following. And what we're looking for here, okay, is click on historical data, because we want to see if there are any major spikes, okay, in their growth chart, right? So if they go from like, if they just went from like here and then the next day they got like, 50,000 followers in one day, we know those are probably fake, right? We're looking for kind of like a steady trajectory that kind of makes sense, okay? So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna kind of watch this, and it only starts at 8,000, which is fine. But it looks, it's growing, and right here, this kind of looks sketchy to me. In one day, 28 to 29 of October, they gained 14,000 followers, which that should be a little bit of a red flag. So I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. So this is just what they're following. So that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. See, they followed a lot of people also during that time, but doesn't matter. Here's what really matters. Okay, their uploads. So you can see they had 646 uploads, and then on the 28th and on the 29th, they posted like 50 uploads. Okay, they posted like 50 pictures in one day. Now, I don't know if that was the reason, but in one day, that's the same day that they got 14,000 more followers. They posted 50 pictures. I don't know what they did there. It's a little sketchy, but it still kind of looks, the trajectory of growth looks normal to me. So that's fine. If you guys are seeing literal spikes like this, like a staircase, then it's sketchy. Okay, so that's a way to know if those are bots as well. Okay, so now we know what a good influencer looks like. We know how to vet them and see, if they're bots or real, people and stuff like that, right? So now we need to know how to find them. Like, how do we actually find quality influencers, and how are we going to, kind of deal with that? So it's not a big deal, guys. It's very simple. All you guys have to do is sign up for Upfluence, Social Bakers, or like this one, Aspire IQ, and basically just like a database for influencers, and they only cost like $70 a month for that one, $200 a month for that one, and this one costs so much that you actually have to request a demo before they can tell you how expensive it is. And if you guys can't tell, obviously I'm totally kidding. That's kind of outrageous. I think this may be for like really, really big companies that are looking for influencers, but for you guys, you definitely don't need this. I'm going to show you guys how to do it for absolutely free and still get really, really good quality vetted influencers. Okay, so that was a joke, don't worry about it. Okay, but before I do, guys, I'm gonna do a shameless plug. Okay, follow me on Instagram, guys, at reallyaniv. I'm gonna leave a link in the description, guys. All you have to do, head over there, follow me. I'm going to Funnel Hacking Live, so I'm gonna be showing you guys a lot around there, a lot of pictures, a lot of stories. So guys, it's gonna be awesome. Also, if you guys are gonna be at Funnel Hacking Live, message me, DM me, and maybe we'll meet up there. It should be super fun. I'm looking to meet some of you guys, and I think that'll be really cool. So follow me there, guys. And yeah, that's just a little shameless plug. So let's continue. Okay, so now how do we actually find them for free? Okay, basically you're gonna look for hashtags, you're gonna look for related, and you're gonna look for this site Instagram.com plus the keyword. Now this is really easy ways to find them, and we're gonna go through them right now. So let's start off with hashtags. Basically, hashtags work like very simple. So we all know how hashtags work. I'm not gonna go over it. So let's just type in like hashtag pugs, right, and see what comes up. So pugs of Instagram is the most the most posted one. So when you come in here, okay, you have top posts and you have most recent posts. So the ones with the most kind of interactions are going to be up here, and you want to click on those because that's really the big ones that are getting the interactions. So they're usually going to be the people with the biggest pages. So you just come in here, you click on, like, let's click on this one. I think this is a funny picture. The Pugsy Small, right? Okay, so he has 101,000 followers. That's super, super awesome, okay? So now we found another influencer, and you just go through all the kind of pug stuff, or if you're cars, or if you're fitness, or whatever, right? And that's how you would go through it and find influencers in whatever niche. You just type in hashtag, and you find it that way, okay? Another way, once you do find the first, right? You find one person that kind of fits in your niche. What you want to do is click on this little arrow, and you click on that arrow, it's going to come up here suggested. And why would we want to keep looking for stuff if we can just use Instagram's algorithm to help us do it for us, right? So we come in here and you just kind of open up. Usually I've noticed that stuff with check marks, it's too many, they're just too many followers, and it's going to be too expensive to actually, do a shout out with. So for example, here's another one, 160K, and then you can just open his and you can go through it, right? And that's really, really easy way to find more and more and more kind of pugs, okay? And here again, another 130K. So this is perfect, right? And you just keep going through here, and you can just go like that. There's a lot of different stuff in here, okay? And that's how you kind of find more, right? So that was the related. Okay, so that was the related one, and I also showed you the hashtag one. And I'm going to show you the site Instagram, that crazy one. I'll show you guys that right now. So all we do is type in site Instagram.com, and then space pugs, or space whatever it is that you're kind of searching up. Okay, so we'll search that up, and then as you can see, I've already looked at this stuff, but you can just open them up. So let's say, for example, you come like this, you just open them up, and it just shows you all the stuff that has to do with pugs. You come in here, 25.6, so this is a little low. Come in here, 384,000, that's a little high, but still could be good. And you just go through it like this, okay? Pugs lovers only. So we just found the original one that we found. Basically, those are the three ways, okay? Super simple, super easy. Just take some time to go through them and actually figure out which one, is actually good, right? So every time you pull this up, you want to go through all that vetting process that we went through, checking the bots, checking the social blade, checking, the comments and engagement rate. That's all stuff you want to do to every single one of those accounts before we're going to contact them. I'll talk to you guys exactly how to contact them the right way in just a little bit. Actually, we'll do it right now. So basically how you reach out to them. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to check if there's always a link in bio, right? There's a lot of the times if they do promotions, they're going to have a link in the bio. Okay, so check the link in the bio. If they have one, obviously contact through there. If not, try to email them. If that doesn't work, then you go to slide into the DMs, okay? But the first one, okay, email once, wait a little bit, email again, wait a little bit. If that doesn't work, then go slide into the DMs and do that way, okay? Now, the thing you have to remember, right, if you're sliding into the DMs and they don't answer, it's difficult, right? Because sometimes, if you have a big page, or if you're an influencer or something like that, right, you probably get a lot of messages, and a lot of people are going to be in your requests, because if you don't follow someone back, right, if you follow someone and they don't follow you back, your thing when you message them is going to go into requests, and sometimes they just won't see it or care to go through it. So that's kind of one thing you have to remember. Also, when you do it, right, you want to make sure that when you actually do send the message, they might be looking at it, but they might not get their eyes drawn to the message, because they have a lot of people messaging them. They don't really, care. So you need to just kind of stand out and kind of show them that you're there for business, not just a fan. Okay. So this is what I like to do. Something like this: business collab work, sponsored post, something like that, right? To show them, hey, I'm interested in paying you money. Pay attention to me. Okay. So that's kind of what I like to do. And that's what I've noticed works the best, because in this little, limited space that you have there, you want to make sure that you're drawing their eyes. Okay. So that's that. Now, a few ways to actually interact with them. This is something I've realized, and people message me this way. This is like, I don't react well to these kind of messages, and I've spoken to a lot of influencer stuff, and this stuff doesn't work well. Okay, if you're looking to do a shout out with someone or something, avoid going like, hey, my name is blah, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur and the CEO of blah blah blah, right? I love your content, it's so amazing, right? I have a great product I think your followers would love. What are your shout out rates? Okay, so don't do that, right? First of all, no one cares about you, right? So why are you stop introducing yourself. No one really cares. Okay. And then, saying I love your content, it's so amazing. It's like, who are you bullshitting here, right? Like everyone knows that if you're going there to do a shout out, you didn't give a shit about the content, and you're not here to just don't pretend that that's what you want to do. Okay. So don't do that. It just rubs people the wrong way, and just avoid doing that. Okay. What you do is just say, hey, I think I've got a great product that your followers would love. Okay. What are your shout out rates? Something super simple like this. Okay. And like this, you get straight to the point. You're not stroking anyone's ego. You're not licking anyone's butt. Just be straightforward and honest. And this kind of works out the best for everyone. I get a lot more responses this way. Just be real and honest with people. So finding and reaching out, okay, is only half of the battle, guys, okay? Because negotiation is very important, and their sweet spot for price, okay, and what you're getting, right, is about so the regular price is about 1 cent per one follower, okay? So it's about $100 per 100,000 followers. Now, it might seem that that's a little steep, but this is what I've kind of realized was the average price. Obviously, it depends on engagement, how much they want, stuff like that. But this is kind of the price that I've noticed. Obviously try to get it a lot cheaper, but if the engagement is really good, this is really what the price is probably going to be at. So I just want you guys to know that, but I'll show you guys the tricks that you can kind of wait and let them give you a price. Okay. So influencer will tell you, okay, one or more of these next three things, and one of them you have to be very, very careful about. Okay. So they'll say, once you message them, they'll message you back, what are you promoting, right? They want to know what product. Is it garbage? Is it gonna is it toxic? Is it gonna hurt their followers? They have a reputation to maintain. So obviously they don't want you kind of selling garbage to their followers. So that's one thing to be sure. And they'll probably ask you that. Another thing that they can ask is, they'll just give you the pricing. So they won't ask you anything. They'll just give you the pricing. This is what they charge. This is what I charge. You want it, you leave it, you take it, or you leave it, right? And the third one, okay, this one we need to be very careful of. Okay, they'll ask you for your budget, guys. And this is when the siren goes on, okay? This is shut down, everyone chill out, okay? Because if they ask you, what your budget is, you need to be very careful with what you're going to say. This is just a probing technique that they use, a lot of influencers, to figure out how much you're willing to spend on their post. So even if you're willing to spend $100, $200, whatever, $50 on their post, you never want to be the person to say first, right? Because it's a win-win for them. If you say, oh, hey, if they only want $30 and you say, they ask your budget, you say $50, then they'll be like, okay, no problem, it's $50. If they think it's $100 and you say $50, they'll be like, nah, it's $100. And either way, it's kind of a win-win for them because they're always on the front foot. So you always want to ask them what their prices are and then negotiate down from there. So here's some things you need to have for your promotion to work correctly, okay? 3 things. A post, okay? So you want a post from them, you want a story, and you want a link in the bio, right? If we're selling something, we need a link in the bio. We need a post, a story, and a link in the bio. You don't want one or any mixture of the two. You want all 3 of those. It's absolutely mandatory and crucial for you to get all 3 of those, okay? So the thing is, okay, the post and the story need to be different. Have them different. Don't have the exact same post and the exact same story, and the things. Also, I've noticed that videos do better than pictures, okay? But if you don't have a video that you can put together or something like that, then yes, use a nice picture. And we'll talk about pictures in just a second, okay? So have them different. It works better that way. Also, link in the bio needs to be a bit.ly link or some sort of link that you can track, because if you're sending traffic to, let's say, your website or something like that, or Amazon, your listing, you need to know that it's coming from the influencer, right? You want to know how many clicks are going through. You want to know and be able to track this, because if it works well, you want to know that, and you want to be able to, promote your stuff with them again, or never promote with them again if it doesn't do so well. Okay, so you need to be able to track the amount of people. Okay, so that's very important. Now, things you need to know for the promotion to work. So those are things you need to have, and these are things you need to know. Okay, you need to know that pictures like this. Okay, so for example, we're gonna use this picture, just a white background, just some like sugar bear hair gummies, whatever, hair vitamins. Okay, you don't post a picture like this. Don't post just a white background picture or just a black picture with like the product. You need to follow the theme of your influencer or the theme of your page. Okay, it needs to look good. It needs to be a lifestyle photo. And by lifestyle photo, what I mean is that it needs to look like something like this. Okay, this looks so much better. Okay, imagine if there's like an aesthetic kind of Instagram post or Instagram page, right? You want to follow within that. You want to be a part of that, right? And if you're actually, if let's say you have an actual influencer, it's a person, ship them over one of your products. Get them to take a picture like this with your product, and it's probably gonna be more expensive, but when they're holding it, let's say that this blonde chick is the influencer, right? This is like way better if the influencer is in the picture, okay? Than if you just have like some random person holding it. Okay, so it's very, very important. It's really cool, and this is a really good way to do it, right? Here's another good way if you just kind of want to follow a general aesthetic for a page, right? Super, super awesome. The closer you can follow to the aesthetic, the better it's going to be. So you also want to do a discount, right? You don't want to do like the same price. You want to do like 20% off or whatever. That usually works best. And another thing that's really important is to make sure that you discuss, okay, post delays after promotion. So you want to know that the person isn't just gonna, you're gonna pay for your post, and then like 2 hours later, like the post, another post is gonna come out, or an hour later, another post is gonna come out. Because the way Instagram works is it actually favors the most recent post. So it's gonna take away from your engagement, it's gonna take away from your eyes if they just post right after. So be very clear with your influencer that you want a big amount of time, minimum 4 hours, preferably 6 hours or more, where they're not posting anything, where it's only your post that's going to be there, okay? Because that's going to get a lot more eyes to it. It's going to have a lot more engagement, a lot more growth that way, and a lot more people are going to see it, okay? So you want to have at least 4 to 6 hours minimum of time without a post. So try to get that. That's very important. And a side note also, what I've noticed is you want to look for a 12-hour shout out, okay, from 9 a.m. PST to 9 p.m. PST. That's kind of what I've realized is the best time, okay? You can do 24 hours, but 24 hours, it will work well, but a lot of the time people are just sleeping at night. So most of the time, bang for your buck kind of thing is during those 12 hours. So if you want to pick that up, get that, within those time frames. Another thing you can actually do, right, if this works well, like if your first couple, promotions work well, you can actually just reach out to them and be like, hey, I want to do like a profit sharing with you or an affiliate program or something like that. You can see if they're open to that. And then that way you'll be able to post a lot more often, and you don't have to actually pay. It's just kind of a profit share. And you can try to reach out to some smaller Instagram influencers this way. The ones that don't really make any much money at all, like maybe 30 or 50,000 followers. You can reach out to them and be like, hey, you interested in doing like a little of a profit, splitting. So you use their audience, they make a little, the influencer makes some money, and you don't have to pay up front for anything. So that's kind of a cool thing. Also, if you have a lower budget, it's something that could work for you. Now, guys, you made it to the end. You made it to the bonus, okay? We're going to talk about YouTube influencers and how to find them, okay? So we're going to spot that influencer, and it's actually pretty easy on YouTube. Now, there's a few things you want to note with YouTube influencers is that, one, they're most likely going to be more expensive than Instagram influencers, which is why we usually want to go over Instagram influencers, because on YouTube, they get paid AdSense, right? So they already have money. They're not that desperate for money. On Instagram, they kind of need sponsored ads, because otherwise they're not really making money, right? Instagram doesn't pay them to have posts up. So on YouTube, you get paid with ads. On Instagram, not so much. So that's why if you have a little bit of a lower budget, you probably shouldn't go with the YouTube guys. But I'll show you guys how to find some cool ones, and it's pretty easy and fairly simple, okay? Also, you obviously have to look at their engagement as well. Views and stuff like that were very important, like ratio, stuff like that. And let's get into that. So let's say we want to look into like baking, okay? So let's go to baking. Okay, so one thing you can do, okay, right off the bat is, when you type it in, you're probably going to find like huge numbers. So what you want to do, with a niche this big, you want to come in here and just go to channels. When you click on channels, it's going to instantly kind of narrow down all like kind of baking channels, stuff that come up for this keyword. And you can instantly scroll past the millions of followers, and you can find the baking top, 83,000, 8,000, 9,000. You're probably going to look for it on YouTube, probably between like the 10 or like 9, 10,000 and, close to 25, 30,000, 40,000. Just because much past that, it's going to be very expensive. But yeah, so let's say, for example, right, we find like, let's say we go to this one, okay, baking topic. let's see what this is. So this is, I think, more of just baking. It's not really a page. So, okay, I don't know what that was, but let's just go to, like, for example, a smaller channel here. And what we want to do is we want to look at their related. So let's say like My Little Bakery, okay, or something, and you just click on the related channels on the side there, and you're able to find, okay, so this one has 135,000. It's a little more than what we're looking for, but you can reach out to them and see, right? You just reach out to them, message, you go to the about section usually, and they'll have their email, so you can go in here and you can email and see kind of what's up and how much it would actually cost you to do something like this, okay? Another thing you want to make sure is that you're going to Social Blade, okay? And check that, go to YouTube, find the channel, go to the, kind of the growth. And again, look for those ladders. If there are a lot of ladders like that, stay away from people like that. So it's kind of the same concept, but a little bit different, okay? So if you guys are selling on Amazon, okay, check out this video here. It's how to launch with only PPC in 2019, okay? You guys have been loving it. It's a super awesome video. It's kind of like this one where I kind of break down every single portion of it. So if you guys are, launching on Amazon or anything like this, you can actually also use this strategy with influencers to help propel you with that PPC strategy to get you to the first page no matter what. So if you guys are looking to, rank or launch or anything like that, definitely check out this video. It's going to be a good one. Click that link and head over there, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. It took me quite a while, but I know it's going to help a lot of you guys out. So anyways, guys, I will see you very, very soon.